Okay. Very good morning to all of you. At the outset, I congratulate BIET, particularly the principal, Professor H.B. Arvindji, director, Professor Y. Rishvendrappaji, and the coordinators for organizing the orientation to the PUC recently passed students, particularly the Professor KSB and his team, who are, uh, you know, uh, planning to pursue their career in engineering, the medicine and agriculture, etc. It is the right time. They must know about the number of avenues they have to choose as per the higher learning is concerned. However, the most of the students choose engineering as their career. If that is the scenario, what should be their preparedness? The kind of mindset required by the student has to be right from adaptability to thinking. Keeping this background in mind, today I would share some of my thoughts on your preparedness, my dear students, who are the participants who have just passed PUC and waiting to write CET and NEET and looking for admission for 21-22 for different engineering, medicine, agriculture, etc. courses. So I would share these thoughts, about your preparedness in higher education and engineering education in particular. So if you look at that skills, engineering skills, if you are talking about, so what are the engineering skills? If you define the talents required to be a successful engineer after 4 years of degree, include a combination of both hard and the soft skills, what we are talking about. They allow an engineer to perform the labor of the position and also work with the co-workers to operate as an unit efficiently wherever they work. The highlights of my talk will be the flexibility in terms of adjusting. So you just imagine you have completed your degree, okay, or the kind of skills you need to acquire during the process of your education in the next 4 years. So it should be such a way that adjusting to an ever evolving environment is the need of hour. You need to learn how to adjust to the different setups where I'm going to work. The communication is a skill that we are born with. So we have some sort of skills, but yet it may take a lifetime to sharpen it. Regularly, you need to sharpen it according to the demand. So that is where you are going to be a perfectionist, something like that. So getting adapt in technical skills, today we talk about such as a blockchain technology or a cloud computing, which are the buzzwords now, can boost your career trajectory. That's where you need, see, you may choose a different courses, civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, electronics, computer science, textile, biotechnology, chemical engineering, see, our industrial production, automobile engineering, whatnot. But what is required? And these are some of the recently introduced technologies which are need of an hour for all such courses. It may be the same can be learned in the civil engineering with the mechanical engineering, particularly the data structures, robotics, artificial intelligence, what people are talking about. I will come to those points later on. So by now, so we are all more familiar to embracing a new work culture. We need to familiar a workspace where an employee logs in from a different location, which you have seen during the pandemic. Okay, that's what, and far away from his office premises. You work from home. You work from other places, maybe several 100,000 kilometers. See, look at that. So, or an environment that enables an employee to run errands, allowing flexibility of working, then at different hours. That is what is needed. Flexibility, our flexibility. You must work with a lot of flexibility and according to the demand, the industry demand, the office demand. So we are not distant from an era where remote hirings and an onboarding might be the only realities. We are like a digital natives now, right? So, having said that, in the beginning, the futuristic organizations, be it educational, industrial, a service organization, or IT professionals, or pharma, whatever you talk about, these futuristic organizations where you are going to work will be a digital immigrants. You all will be a digital immigrants. Then I said, if not a digital natives, the talent they would want to impanel will be holistic, well versed with the new age, as I said, some of the technologies, the new age, technical and soft skills. We all know having an updated skill set simplifies the journey in times and crises. You must learn art of crisis management. And there'll not be more classroom lecturing and learning. The more flexibility in learning, more on hands-on, more on practicals, more on experimental basis. 60 to 70% you will be learning in laboratories rather than in classrooms. You will be spending more time in laboratories. Look at that adaptability, changes required time and again. That's what. So this is what, that the skill set, as I said, this is what we have seen in 2020 and early 2021. The last 2-3 months, what has happened, particularly in India, the more, the pandemic, which has started in 100 different ways to think, that was happened with us also in 2020 and 2021. And then IT skills, the health related skills, that the skills required with an artificial intelligence. Today, everybody knows about the kind of the artificial intelligence which has been using. And I can mention, so that is a tool for the, in the future. The governments are thinking that this artificial intelligence should be used in the primary to higher level, school going students. It will be a futuristic tool. The wide applicability of artificial intelligence, my dear students, be it a civil engineering, how you must now learn in the future how a civil engineer is going to use artificial intelligence, how a mechanical engineer is going to use an artificial intelligence, how a biotechnologist will be using an artificial intelligence. It is not something a domain specific. Only computer science engineers or information science engineer or IT related engineers should use it. See, A to Z, I say astronomy to the zoology or something like that. This is because this is the global need currently in every field to make things smart. So what is we talk about? Smartphones, the smart car, the smart ultrasound machine. See, AI, artificial intelligence, provides the smarts needed for things. Since this opportunity, the space is being very large and diverse, which requires the global efforts, my dear friends. So India has witnessed IT revolution, but China missed it somehow. But now China and most of the other countries like Japan wants to be the the world leader as far as artificial intelligence is concerned. That's where in a big way they want in India wants to introduce this artificial intelligence. So you are the first, the team of learners, my dear friends. If you are getting into engineering or any field, don't you think that medicine not required artificial intelligence? That also require artificial intelligence, machine learning, etc. So that is where, so are we ready for the artificial intelligence tsunami, which is going to happen? The question is the important, say one, that the since it requires the mobilization of the people and resources, given that the smart devices, now the institutes are also going to equip to kind of the array of things they wanted to take into this kind of the technologies have been going to introduced. So that is where here are the some of the future skills that an engineer should watch out for. That's what I'm going to share with all of you, my dear friends. As I said, that it is whole campus is learning, classroom, because the Wi-Fi based, internet based, it is not in the classrooms. Whole campus is a learning center for you. The first year, you all will be going to do some sort of an experiment. The next year, you all will come up with some sort of a product. In the next year, you must learn, these are all the entrepreneurial sort of skills, you must learn how to sell it. And finally, you are pitching. You are going to sell the product which has been prepared by yourself. So that is a kind of education will be happening in the future, and for which you have need to be ready. So that is where, so the skill, adaptability, number one, you must know. See, that is where, because we have learned in the last 2 years, every student, every faculty, every an engineer, an industrialist learned. So the pandemic is going to change how the workplace will operate in future. So look at that. Now we have received the guidelines. 40% maybe in online classes. So now the things will be like this. All class orientation at the classroom interaction sort of a thing will be online. The experiments only will be offline. So 30% you will learn online through internet classes or in webinars, etc. But rest 70% you will be learning in the laboratories. That is going to happen, my dear friends. You must be prepared for that. So the skills required, that's what I said, adaptability, you must learn. Now, look at that, whole world is talking about the liberal education. Keeping this liberal education concept in mind, the government of India in 2020, is going to adapt the recently, drafted national education policy. What I can say, people call it as a new education policy. I said national education policy, isn't it? The modified policy, what I can say, where the more emphasis to ethics. See, this is where a civil engineer must learn economics. A mechanical engineer must learn some of the commerce which are required, isn't it? So this is the nowhere you are only acquiring the skills of how to prepare a machine. You must know how to sell this machine. That is where the national education policy as an hundreds of avenues is going to provide to learning. So that is where, so the flexibility in terms of adjusting to an ever evolving environment is the need of hour. As much as we emphasize agility or what we call the nimbleness, here the resilience under the stressful circumstances holds an equal weightage. So what is the kind of environment you are going to work? The adaptability to such environment is more important. You are the fastest, the adaptable person to the environment which arises. at the required view. That is where. The next, which is much discussed, much talked, much elaborated, right from kindergarten to the higher education. That's what. The communication, my dear friends. This is a skill that we are born, I said in the beginning, with, yet may take a lifetime to on. Sharpen. Regularly, we need to sharpen the communication skills according to the demand. See, that's how we are going to be a perfectionist, and we learn the art of perfection. Have you ever noticed how we follow different style of communication in our professional and personal circles? That's what. So, for instance, the moment a person begins his professional career, the otherwise, what I can say is the spontaneous, the personality takes a backseat, as they do not want to use the words that may appear unparliamentary to the house. That's where, look at that. So here, with the constant, right now, the number of things we can learn, the constant video and the voice communication taking place, the people have struggled to put forth their ideas effectively in varying modes. So recent survey that is by the Bridge Labs, that approximately the 90% of the engineering job seekers would like to train themselves in the best of the best business communications. The 90%, if at all you wanted a job. Number two, while 81% considered it as the must-have skills. So right communication can do the talking for you. That is very, very seriously, right communications. So we don't know, the student don't know, and people like me, maybe teachers, we don't know how to communicate. So then look at that. What is going to happen if you don't communicate properly? That is what a need of an hour. The third important skills I'm talking about is, as usual, the domain skills people talk about, maybe a technical skills. Although the soft skills are gaining attraction, a lot of great soft skills, okay, at a rapid pace. I'm talking about today. Everybody talks about the soft skills to survive. We have not yet encountered a person who is surviving without any technical or domain skills, which is very important. Now, domain skills are also very, very important. But what? A digital is the way forward now. All sector, be it pharma, the real estate we were talking about, education, the gaming, or any other industry that you can think of, is deploying technologies like, as I mentioned, artificial intelligence, my dear friends, or machine learning, deep learning. Look at that. You must note down all these things. Internet of Things. That is a huge application, you know. And we talk about AR, augmented reality, or maybe a VR, the virtual reality, and etc. These are all, you know, either tied through the disturbances or reach out to a broader audiences in one go. That is what. So getting adapt in technical skills such as I said in the beginning, blockchain, cloud computing, blockchain technologies, cloud computing, isn't it? And can boost your career trajectories, opportunities, I can say. So if you know, this is an advantageous for many engineers to get a better job. I'm very happy to highlight that the most engineering students of recent days are going for teaching. That too, particularly for primary and higher level of teaching, in the country. That is a good note. He can use his analytical skills to teach the students and mold these young brains in a better way. See, and the another important skill an engineer must know is a continuous learning. No, I have acquired these many skills, I have some knowledge. No, nothing. Nothing. You may be having a strong domain. Of course, that is very, very important. The knowledge, the basic fundamentals you have. But among us, you know that in continuous to this, you must have an ability or adaptability of having a continuous learning attitude. It is in continuous to the what I said the previous point, or say a complement to it. No matter how technologically advanced you think, you may be, oh, I am good at technology or something like that. There will always be a scope for an upgrade in your area or in your craft. That is very, very important. A digital marketer may like to upskill for a new social media platforms, or a coder. That's what I'm talking about. My son teaches me many times with a certification in this is what an intelligence, artificial intelligence, may want to dive deeper and specialize in what is called as the NLP, Natural Language Processing. Upskilling is the only constant if you want to future proof your for your portfolios or whatever as you say. You have some background, that's where. The another important one which I always highlight and which is very, very close to my heart, which is creativity, my dear friends. We talked creativity in classrooms many times, but how effectively we are into it, that is more important. The simple solutions are often a complex and may require a highly innovative mind to get things moving. Unique, industry first ideas, right? Then thinking outside the box to create solutions. So we need to adapt this kind of a creativity, thinking out of the box, not to go with the Me Too products. The next generation, thinking about the next generation products, the next generation ideas. Look at that. See, that is where a simple streamlining process, a call for creativity and what we call it as an inquisitiveness. Today, the ability to color outside the lines, coloring outside the lines is anything but desirable. Anything but desirable. A brain that not only questions, but also capable of finding resolutions is welcome in any organization. That's what. So you need to be more creative. This creativity learning, it should be a regular process, my dear young friends. It should be regular. You get up in the morning, you brush your teeth, you have your breakfast. It is a routine. You take your bag and go to a college. So the creativity is like a routine. How well you get up, eat, sleep. It's a routine, no? It's the same way. You must spend some time for creative activity. That's what. Maybe the more laboratory-based learning will allow students to develop a creativity in a better way. The another important skills which is required for the future engineers is the data literacy. Today, the whole world talk about the data structures and big data. Our computer science and information faculty colleagues are teaching to their students how to handle big data. You might have, the best example, you might have visited 5 years back an hospital. Look at that. And still, everything, data which is available. That's a simple example which I'm giving to you. So people need to handle big data in the future, and they wanted to put everything in a cloud, something like that. What if these IT, the people are talking about. So data is no less than a divinity in the future. For many organizations, include in educational institutions, we need to handle big data, and kind of the systems which they've introduced, and it drives an analytics and marketing function. This data analytics, look at that. More so in the post-pandemic, you have seen that during that and after that, the world where the customer behavior and the preferences are somewhat unknown. So here the data can give you an actionable insights to the organizations to carve out their marketing campaigns. So or design a product as per the evolved audience, the new audience, what I can say. So data means having access to number and trends that help companies stay abreast of their competitors in knowing the market pulses. So this is, look at that. Today, it's a huge competition. You know that if you go to a market, you know which is the best product. Maybe in another 6 months, and another product replaces it. So we also in a flexible or the faster adaptability to the new things. That look at that the people in the market, they will understand the market pulses. So and they need to compete each other. That is where the data, which is very, very important. So those skilled at drawing context from data will be better equipped to getting attention from an hiring HR or managers or what we talk about. So now, my dear friends, this is very, very important. Be it a student, be it a faculty, be it an engineer who is going to work in a company, or any personal for that matter. It is like what is that? A very, very life learning skill, how to collaborate. That is where the collaborations, a teacher-student collaboration, a student-student collaboration, a student-student-teacher collaborations. See, this is where, look at that. The organizations are reaping the benefits of the teleworking in terms of increased output, prolonged working hours, reduced electricity consumption, rental bills, and other amenities that would otherwise cost them it's like a cost them making a big bomb or something like a huge expenditures. The other day, my friend was quoting recently what the companies have learned, big companies have learned. Working from home is very cost effective. People have contributed a lot. And they have showed high level of skilling. Look at that. The flexible working showed high level of skilling. So now companies are going, beyond Bangalore, beyond Hyderabad. They are coming to villages. That's what digital natives I said. People are coming to resorts for working. Look at the kind of the business, educational business, industry business. So this is where, so teamwork, when I talk about teamwork and a virtual collaborations are not going anywhere soon. In such a scenario, the ability to, a conjoint to be the next one or something like that, synergies with your, dispersed, teammates to reach a common goal is one of the best skills to have on your resume. So you are writing your resume, you must know your collaborative skills, how well you work in world of teams, how well you are ready to join the big teams. and making something happen there. This is where, my dear friends, which is very much required in the future. As I already mentioned, I said crisis management, the risk management. What do we talk about? So that is the kind of the skill. So we know many things, but if something goes wrong, all of a sudden we don't know how to manage it. See, look at that. We don't have a patience. We have not developed the patience to manage that risk or manage that crisis. You future engineers must develop how to manage crisis. Come out with some sort of a solution. And I can say the job lies in evaluating and decreasing business liabilities. That is what on financial, it may be assets and other expenses that can be curbed with a proper risk management. I said the business leader should be able to distinguish between a challengers and an immediate threats and plans further course of action. This is where the job that appears breezy actually involves the shouldering the responsibility to make an organization sail through a storm of and effectively throughout the adverse event, such as the we have seen in the pandemic. Undoubtedly, the right training and experience are pivotal to risk management. So until we develop some sort of an experiences as far as the risk management is concerned, and that is what company looks for, and even company trains for. And the most of the time, self-motivation, which is very, very important. Don't expect someone else will come and give a motivational talk and motivates you how to do a classroom teaching, how to work in a industry, how to have a collaborations. Critical things is no. Don't expect someone else to come and influence. So, how well we can get self-motivated? That is a question most of us will have. So that is where this is one of the skill set which is required for the future engineers. Self-motivation, it is much needed skill at the time of remote and somewhat a solitary working routines. You're not in a working, see, the job requires you have to carry out this work alone. You are depressed, tired, and nobody will come and motivate you. So you must have a heart of a self-motivation skills. So you do not have on-site support and may also fall short of time to connect with a team or a colleagues in a pressing situations, the demanding situations. So encouraging yourself to stay motivated and deliver the assignments, isn't it? Within deadline can look, daunting, but it is achievable if one implements the discipline required and a self-regulation while carrying out that particular job or work. So look at that. The demands the future. Probably in the next 5 years, this may not be the demand. The demand scenario will be different from the present to after 5 years. So that is what earlier I said, collaboration, creativity. Now look at that critical thinking. When you have this kind of a thinking, you can manage self-motivation, you can manage creativity, you can manage collaborations and adaptability when someone develops critical thinking. Think deeper. It is easy to say, I know, but it is possible. So critical thinking combined with the leadership ability. See, that is where you can be the powerful leader amongst the peers, the powerful leader. So that leadership qualities are not skills restricted to a managers or a head or something like that. So workplaces in 2021 or 22 or 23, whatever, will be on the lookout for people displaying a rational decision making and accountability under pressure. So you are given a 5 minutes time, you need to decide on this, the company's agreement or not within 5 minutes. There were a decision making which is involved, and you need to think critically. You need to take a decision, and you have to sign an MOU with the company. Can it be possible? So that is what all of a sudden you will not get this. You need to assemble yourself, the set yourself for this kind of a process, my dear friends. The critical thinking, that's where the making informed decisions to a company, where the company head or the MD will approve your decisions. Oh, this is a good decision for the sake of the company's interest, keeping company's interest in mind. So that kind of a decisions you need to take when you want to be a leader. And you just see that our principal has proved it. Let us have vaccination for all my students. Day 1, day 2, day 3. Somehow all students got vaccination. See, that is where some skills we need to perform, show. That is where, see that while being surrounded by tons of, so today how we need to tons of fake news, tons of many influences. The people influencing channels is no child's play, right? But you are going to take a decision. So when there are all news around you as fake, but you need to take a right decision. Imagine the condition where you are, isn't it? So that's where reaching credible information, navigating through the various sources, getting an information, right information, analyzing. So a lot of analytical thinking which is required now will be an highly valued skill in the future. Friends, so why I am taking the world is flat now. A small Indian company can, compete with a global American company now. Look at that. We have proved that with, vaccine. The Covaxin is a small player when compared to the Covishield. Bharat Biotech to, the big companies, Zydus, whatever we talk about. But look at that, they can compete each other. Like the number of companies, the pharma industries have come up with a product. They're competing to the global, what I can say, big companies. So relocation of manufacturing activities. Today, we know a lot of things have been changed. Many companies are coming and setting up their R&D units in India. Relocation of, manufacturing units. That is happening. When you show your strength, this is going to happen. And investment can go anywhere with one touch screen. Look at that. The kind of, technology right now we are using. Investment. No, today, no, I'm not going to send it to India. I'm going to send it to other country. It is in one touch screen, my dear friends. That is the kind of world we are living in. And it may be a mouse click, what we can say. And changes, you can just see the changes surrounding universities. I can say the economic, the job market are constantly changing at a very fast rate. The manufacturing and other activities are rapidly shifting to India and its neighbors now in the globalized situation. The internet facilities are changing students' learning habits. We have seen last year and this year. Some we blame, some at least this is a good, at least in this crisis situation. Some at least we can keep our students in touch. There are number of plus and minus, pros and cons of such, of course. But within this, we need to see which is the best suited to the situation, the benefits out of this So the facility, initially in 2020, we faced a lot of bandwidth issues, internet issues. Of course, some extent we have performed better. Look at that. See, students are, I already did mention, digital natives. He knows how to work. See that the lifestyle, the skills required, the values we are talking about now, that is where engineering, human values, ethical values, how to live in the society, all sort of is the skills are in education. Today's the education, that is a liberal education, has to provide to students. This is a challenging both for teachers as well as the students, as far as the parents are concerned. The today's universities are expected to commercialize its research products. That's where no longer a university which is for teaching. It should be a research university, or it should be a university which is going to develop a product. That is where, see, the changing our economic base from an agriculture. No, agriculture was the base to now we have shifted to manufacturing, and then to we have now shifted to a knowledge-based entrepreneurs, or what I can say, innovation-based. Knowledge-based entrepreneurs are innovation-based entrepreneurs. So today we can see a lot of impact of globalization, isn't it? That is what, my dear friends. And look at that, the graduate attributes, what my colleague says about the program outcomes. The complex problem solver, you need to be a complex. That is what is a kind of teaching and learning activities should take place in the classroom. A complex problem solver. The student is not going to solve only one sort of a problem or something like. Develop a multi-problem solving skills. That is where the kind of education, outcome-based, program outcomes, what we are talking about. And knowledge producing graduates. We are not a mediocre. We are not producing a mediocre graduates. We are producing a graduate who is knowledgeable. Today, look at that. Share, remix, and capitalize an ideas, the new ideas. That's where you need to share an idea. I always talk about that. Share an idea. Come up with a better idea. That is what is going to happen in the future. So you have to embrace the changes rather than fighting the changes. No, I cannot adapt to the kind of such changes. People say tomorrow you have to come by 7 o'clock in the morning to an office. People say no, fight. No, you need to embrace the changes which demands you. Then innovation or innovative entrepreneurial skills, it should be a global, leveraging collaborations, what we can talk about. Then strong ethics, until we imbibe our characters of ethics, ethical principles. That's what our Vice Chancellor always highlights about universal human values required for a student. That's what in the changing scenario, it may be in education or any other field for that matter. Universal human values. Our Honorable Vice Chancellor Karsid Dabbaji always mentioned about this. So a student must learn. Otherwise, we may be, we have seen digital divide, but the life divide we must not see in the future. That's where. See, at the end, the delivery will be. So what is going to happen? The change, top-down approach to a bottoms-up, something like that. The classrooms are going to be no longer a teacher-centric. These classrooms are going to be a student-centric. A student is the center point, not the teacher. So the students can handle, complicated project during this time. You must learn how to handle a complicated project or a research project in the next, 4 or 5 years. And multidisciplinary problem-based learning. Lot of case studies, sort of a learning. You need to learn with lot of case studies as an examples, be it in environmental engineering, anything. So case studies, that's how, you can develop the big knowledge base. And we learn and understand project based, as I said, with a global collaborations. Now, our Honorable Vice Chancellor always says, next year, the student should go to an abroad and have some, if an availability is there, have some hands-on training there, add some project there and come back. So look at that. That is the kind of, flexibility universities are introducing now. Every year, almost 40 lakh students from India migrate to other places. If I'm not wrong, 4 lakh students. But only some 6 to 8,000 students are coming to India to learn. That number needs to be increased. So the liberal education, as I said, some courses for, character building courses. It is all self-learning. Right now, you have hundreds of opportunity now. So whatever the credits you can learn by online MOOCs, NPTEL, whatever the online learning, and earn some credits. So look at that. Writing and oral communication, inquiry, I always said about, but qualitative, literacy, which is very, very important. Information literacy, which is very, very important. And integration of learning, that is very, very important. My dear friends, so today's course delivery is something innovative, pedagogical skills, or whatever we talk about. The future education where assessment will be comprehensive, continuous learning, something comprehensive. Maybe what I said, continuous learning. So now what we have, I can just tell few things and close my talk. Limited student-centered education right now, what we have, which is going to be a completely gradual change, like student-centric education, what we are going to provide. And today's, when you talk about outcome-based education, which is still rigid, but the what we are going to do, as far as NAP is concerned, it is beyond learning, or I can say unexpected way of, learning, or unexpected outcomes. That's where, that. The third important thing, right now, limited stakeholders involvement. But we will see a changes like an active stakeholders involvement, very active stakeholders involvement. If you do, you will perform, you will be, getting a degree sort of, and you will be perfect in the future. But otherwise, no. So industrial teaching, which was there, but now more of a collaborative teaching, I said, my dear friends, collaborative teaching, isn't it? So I know this particular, for example, there is one module or one chapter. I have a powerful skills to tell my students a particular concept. My colleague may teach another one. It's not like, no, this model I should teach and all one subject. No, it's wherever your strengths are there. Give a best of the best knowledge to the student. That is going to happen, my dear friends, in the future. And we used to have a timetable. Oh, this is for first hour, second hour, 5, something like that. No timetable. It is what I can say, immersive, collaborative, no time limit. Evening, morning, whenever the flexible. That's what I talk about: flexibility, adaptability. Now, so we talk about course-based. Imagine a chemical engineering or a textile engineering student study only this. No, it's not like. So in the future, a project-based. We need to have a team from biotechnology, civil engineering, and mechanical engineering, chemical engineering, 4 students to join, come up with a project. Can it be possible? It is possible. That is what the present education looks for. And that is where you all will be. Or maybe an engineering student working another project with a medical student or a dentist student. It should happen, it is going to happen. Or a civil engineering student working with an economic student, jointly submitting a project. You will talk about the design of the the dam or something like that. He works on an economics of the dam, something like that. Look at that. The changing demands as far as education or the society is concerned. And I had said, it is a tested, we used to conduct. No, it's not like you need to exhibit talents. That's how I said continuous evaluation. It's not one test, two tests, three tests I write and get some marks. That is what is a talent. You need to exhibit the talents with the kind of projects or learning in the laboratories, etc. Now, so that I said top-down approach, teacher-centric to a students. That is what is an approach we had. Now, it is just a student initiative or a student-centric bottom-up or something like that. You know that student is the center point, as I said. And according to the demand of a student, we need to provide the knowledge, something which is going to happen. And student may be a teacher to his colleagues and the peers. So look, so these are all the possible changes which we can expect in the future. And local to the global, it's a global scenario where we are. See, that's what I said. The whole campus, becomes a learning space. It's not one classroom, whole campus, because of the kind of bandwidth, whatever which is available. And the collaborative learning was said, project-based and eagerness to learn from each other. That is what is very, very important. We need to develop an eagerness to learn from each other. More and more project-based, as I said, and more and more presentation-based or something like that will be the future. That, and more and more project-based, computation-based learning. These are going to happen. These are all going to happen, and then there will not be any classrooms without a wall. That's what I said. Whole campus is a learning place. That is a kind of an atmosphere the campuses need to be created. That's where, and we talk about mobile learning. Look at that. So I just with learn with the flipped class now. That's the end for this kind of a thing. Flipped class, online lecture at the home, and problem solving in the classroom. Online lecture at the home, and you will come to classroom for problem solving or something to do an experiment in the lab. That's what. So that today the frontier knowledge may become absolute. So within 5 years, the frontier, whatever the things, I think. So you need to sharpen your skills and the knowledge regularly. That's where. So due to intensification of the kind of research which is going to happen. Earlier said we need to take 2 doses. Now there is only 1 dose is enough. That's the kind of vaccines have come. Look at that. That. So intensification of research and widespread of sharing of knowledge. Today the huge sharing of knowledge. Through the number of the means and modes through an internet or etc. The traditional laboratory, we had a laboratory, this is laboratory, this, no. Now we need to think whole universe is a laboratory. The nature is the laboratory. The surrounding is the laboratory. That is the kind of a mindset with which we need to learn and work, my dear friends. So there are n number of things that I can share. So with this, I can say you are the future engineers. You are the future nation builders, my dear friends. Okay, and then your learning is with ethics. Is highly talented, but without an ethics, it's of no use to the society, no use to the nation. Talent only breeds egos. Attitude, which is very, very important, my dear friends. That's where the universal human values, ethics in education is more important. So we want more, people. We need to provide with an holistic learning approach and comprehensive mindset. That's where. So with this, I wish all of you for joining this, webinar organized by one of the, the leading engineering institution, that is BIET. And I must congratulate Team BIET for organizing this webinar to give a message to the students and how to crack how to face CET, how to face NEET, how to be ready to write the NEET and examinations, and some sort of a tips and futuristic education, ethics, values, etc. I congratulate whole BIT team, right from KSB to all his team members for organizing this. And I sincerely thank the principal, Professor H.B. Arimji, and Professor Vishpendra Paji for giving me an opportunity. I thank Chandu Kishore for my introduction. Thank you so much. Namaskar.